Another area which the country needs to really look at is on the controlled substances. America is slowly accepting cannabis and opening that for the health sector. And controlled substances export from India to different countries will be very, very difficult because they will not accept it. But there are opportunities which are available to make very key vital raw materials for these controlled substances. And I'm happy to tell you that Sashun is supplying some of the key intermediates for very, very highly complex controlled substances which are going to hit the market in the future. The next big thing which is happening in the pharmaceutical sector is the mergers and acquisitions. And if you see, we have Jayasilan here, who is the chairman of IDMA Tamil Nadu chapter. He has built factories and he has sold it to multinational companies like Par Pharmaceuticals who have come here and bought his companies for a very high valuation, which he thought was a high valuation proved to be only 25% of what the multinational companies sold it further to the next company. See the, once you create intellectual property, once you create a factory of high class, there is opportunity for growth. And I think we should all take this up, this platform provided by the Tamil Nadu government to grow the pharmaceutical sector in API and formulations both in the same way. Thank you very much.
That was really quick, Mr. Kumar. Well, his company has got a lot of first to his credit, and he's also shown a lot of opportunities. Now, may I invite the next speaker, Dr. T. Madan Mohan, Senior Advisor, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India.
Respected Secretary, Government of India, Dr. Subbaraj, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Secretary, Tamil Nadu Government, Dr. Ramaswamy, he was Vice Chancellor some time back. Now he is a member of the State Planning Commission, Government of Tamil Nadu. Distinguished panel members and chairman, delegates and invitees. It's a great pleasure for me to be here in this great occasion. In fact, it recalls me that last April, there was a big meeting, the Hanover Messe in Germany, where our Prime Minister was there, and India was the partner country in that session. And there, it's a world #1 Messe, means exhibition. And it is addressing mainly the automobiles, because Germany is the expert in automobiles. But there was a biotechnology component as part of it. It was, in fact, thrilled by the many countries. They were not having the shows or the seminars in biotechnology, but we had a big show there. And as my previous speakers also had pointed out, the vaccine is very important for our country. We are the second largest producer of the vaccines. Many countries were inquiring about the hepatitis C vaccine. So they had, in fact, I made some tie-up for the people, for some companies. Now I also got Dr. Ramaswamy had nicely given some links so that will be passed on to them. So Make in India concept was that event, Hanover Messe. Now, when I was thinking, I received invitation from Dr. Radhakrishnan, and I thought maybe a small event, but this is similar to that kind of a mega event. I congratulate state government of Tamil Nadu for doing this marvelous job, well organized, and I see a lot of our friends from outside the countries, and it is a fantastic one. So Dr. Subbaraj in his address had pointed out many problems in biotechnology. It is true, I accept that, because it is a large investment area and a lot of risk involved in that. And also, we were good in producing good excellent professionals, but we have lack in producing inventors. So that is the big thing. Even IITs also, we have a good professionals. Our training promotes like that, because ultimately we want to catch up jobs, not for going through the long process of invention and then establishing industries and so on and so forth. So each and every problem we try to address and see how best we can improve the overall biotechnology problems. There was a missing link between the academia and the industry. So we have now set up a Section 25 company as part of the DBT as a BIRAC to support for the industries now. So about 30% of the budget of DBT goes to this mode. So that makes a lot of encouragement for the people, starting from the SMEs, and then the students also, they can now establish incubator, and from there they can go out as, for establishing big enterprises. And then the second issue is when we go for, when you come out from the, say, IITs or any organization, you don't have any mechanism to establish your own enterprises, because these are expensive equipments you have to buy. You don't have that kind of investment, and government also proposes that you have to be recognized by government organization for duty-free import and so on and so forth. They won't be getting the funding also from government if they are not recognized by the DSIR. So what we put in many states, the biotech parks, having incubator as part of it, so that freely the youngsters can go and work over there. Fortunately, the Tamil Nadu government made a big achievement in parks establishment here. They had invested more than 100 crores for establishing Taisal Biopark, which had made kind of the new developments here, and Government of India put an incubator there to help in putting establishment of the infrastructure as part of the incubator, as part of the Taisal Biopark, which is doing good. It is, I would say that it is number one biotech park so far in the country, because they have a second phase now they are moving on. The first phase fully occupied by the companies, and the second phase is being operated now. So that kind of developments going on there. So next level, what we want to do, how we can club expert, because biotechnology is not a single subject. It is a combination of many different subjects, starting from biology, physics, chemistry, engineering discipline, and so on and so forth. So, but these expertise are pooled in different places. How best we can bring these groups together. We are now establishing kind of the city-based clusters, like Chennai clusters we are planning. So that the the Anna University, Madras University, CLRI, IIT, all can, and the Taisal Biopark, like that, they join together, and specific problems can be addressed through that manner. And also ultimately the youngsters would be definitely benefited out of it. And many Bangalore cluster is there, and then the Mohali cluster, Mumbai cluster. Like that, there are different clusters are being established for the developments. So the human resource, basically the DBT took initiative because there was no biotechnology concept. And also I will add that Anna University had started the biotechnology first in the country, MTech biotechnology. So that was in the year, I think, I forgot in the year, but it was early 80s this was initiated. And that had promoted a kind of good environment for this region to produce people in the biotechnology area. But we are, as Dr. Ramaswamy had mentioned, that we missed the basic research area. Like IIC Bangalore says that every year we were getting a good basics research-oriented students, but we never get that kind of students nowadays, because they talk only the high-level technology-oriented things, but the basic working people not available for this region. Maybe again it is going back to address, to work on the basic research that is very important for any developments. So we are hoping that although now it is 5 billion turnover, the biotechnology, by 2025, we are aiming up to 100 billion US dollars. That's what the government is proposing, and government is investing quite a lot for this purpose. And as such, we have that kind of vision. Many countries have shown interest. Already we have a lot of interactions with many countries, US, UK, and many countries. Japan is one of the important partners now. DBT put an international lab in Tokyo, and vice versa. They are putting their labs here in India, and that kind of developments are happening. So people try to understand the work culture between countries, and also makes sharing of expertise. Like bioimaging is one of the things very important, which is we are not very good, but they are very good in bioimaging, and we are sharing their knowledge with the Indian researchers. So these are all the developments taking place, and also maybe we didn't have Dr. Subbaraju at that time from our side. Bio IT Park was one of the things was proposed here in Chennai, and due to some problem, it couldn't happen. DBT and DIT jointly was planning to establish the Bio IT Park, because here the information technology is strong, and the biology as well. So combination of these two would make much more advancement. The pharmaceutical companies basically would be benefited, because when you go for drug development, the specific drug development which are happening now in the through the biotechnology in pharmaceuticals. So I would say that the biotechnology is going to play a major role in pharmaceutical sector for advancement, and maybe like the specific drugs, the personalized drugs would be emerging. That is going to be a big boom subsequently. And thanks very much for giving me time.
Thanks, Dr. Mohan. So biometric informatics is going to play a big role in the pharmaceutical company. That's what you're saying?
Yeah,
Bioinformatics. So could you elaborate how?
So
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
So bioinformatics, the use of computers in biological sciences, the bioinformatics. And particularly when you talk about the bioinformatics, it takes to the drug development, because drug discovery and drug development plays a major role in drug discovery, because normally you do the trial and error method, but now the bioinformatics is going to be, the target would be determined before doing the drug development. So your new tools developed for the bioinformatics purpose is going to help in developing new drugs, which is more specific to diseases.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, our next speaker is Dr. Surinder Singh, Director, National Institute of Biologics, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India.
Respected Dr. Subburaj, Secretary to Government, Department of Pharmaceutical, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Secretary, Health and Family Welfare, Government of Tamil Nadu, Professor K. Ramaswamy, Member of Planning Commission of Tamil Nadu State Government, dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and all the members of the August gathering. Good afternoon to all of you. From my side, I feel I very much is impressed by Tamil Nadu's this initiative, the initiative of Tamil Nadu State Government to give impetus, especially from this forum, with regard to pharmaceuticals and biotechnology sector's growth and the thrust from this global investors meet. As far as I am concerned, I would like to touch upon what my institute has got to offer if the investors, they really think of investing in biotechnology, especially in Tamil Nadu. Because biotechnology is very different from pharmaceuticals. And we have to understand few of its nuances. You can have a generic drug within 24 to 48 months. And you might hardly spend about 40 to 50 crores. But to get a biosimilar, I'm not talking of innovator molecule, but to get a biosimilar itself or to get a vaccine also, which is already available in the global market, it takes 5 to 8 years. It's a long gestation period for biotechnology. That's why the biotechnology growth has not picked up. And it's not only 5 to 8 years long gestation period, it also requires deep pockets. Because biologicals, unlike chemical entities like pharmaceuticals, they are large, complex molecules, very difficult to characterize. Since they are very difficult to characterize, they require technology platforms which are very, very expensive. Each platform may cost you 2 to 3 crores, whereas a drug testing laboratory for pharmaceutical itself can be set up within 10 crores. Then we had speakers touching upon innovation. Why would you don't innovation in our country? Because the very fact that we are touching upon innovation means we are talking about 5 to 6,000 crores. Where is the corpus fund for it? Giving 50 crores, 100 crores, 200 crores is not going to result in innovation. One out of 10,000 molecules or combination we try, one comes to the market. There is so much of wastage in R&D. So you need lot of investment, lot of deep pockets to get that one breakthrough. So these are the issues which we have to touch upon, and especially with regard to biotechnology, it becomes very difficult. But having said all these problems, I think it goes to the strength of our own industry that some of the entrepreneurs have been able to meet these challenges. And if they can do it, I think with the help of the government, like this Global Investors Meet, I think large number of us who are sitting over here, if government, the way it is now striving to do it, does a hand-holding for the sector, I think we can bring laurels to our country. I heard Chairman of Sashun saying in one of his slides that every third pill which is being taken in the world comes from India. I tell you, biotechnology is not far behind. Every second child in the world who is being born and gets a measles vaccine made in India. Right? And this is going from our country. 23 vaccines from India are WHO pre-qualified. 70 to 80% of the global supplies for the vaccines, they go from our country. India has been able to wipe out, let me underline the word, wipe out meningococcal meningitis epidemics in Central Africa with vaccine made from one of the Indian manufacturers and made at a cost of 50 cents a dose. 50 cents a dose. This vaccine is going to WHO and now it is being introduced in most of the EPA programs of Central African countries. So if we can be of such a strength to the neighboring countries, to the countries in the neighboring continents, so I think the same can be leveraged by Government of India for our own people also. Now coming to my institute, like as I said that biotechnology products, they are very difficult to characterize. Similarly, they are very difficult to test also. Once you have produced a molecule, there are no reference materials, there are no monographs, there are no standards. You have to have standards of your own because each biological material, like each of us sitting in this hall, though we are human beings, we are different from each other. So each biological molecule is inherently variable. That's why we say there is lot to lot variation in biologicals. Unlike chemicals, you can have chemicals same type of like everybody looking same, but not biologicals. That's why in vaccines there is a concept of lot release. Each and every batch of vaccine which will be even produced at vaccine park at Changalpur will go to CDL Kasoli before it goes into the market. Drugs don't go. You produce a generic drug, you put it in the market, but not a vaccine, not even biologicals. You have to have 3 to 5 batches, consecutive batches produced to produce consistency of production, then the product goes into the market. So it's very, very cost intensive effort which goes on the parts of the entrepreneurs. That's why this sector needs, I think, much more hand-holding, much more in-depth planning, and I think the platforms need to be created by the government. I think Department of Biotechnology, it has taken an excellent initiative by putting up Center for Cellular and Molecular Platforms at Bangalore. I think that is the only GLP certified center and National Center for Biological Sciences at Bangalore, which helps in characterization of the protein molecules, especially monoclonal antibodies. So I think Tamil Nadu government also needs, with the help of DBT, to create this type of a technology platform over here. Because what happens is, to set up a biotech lab, it will cost you about 40 to 50 crores. If the investor is going to put 40, 50 crores in a lab and the molecule is not going to come up, then I don't think anybody will put his money into that. So what the government has to do is, whether it is LC-MS, or it is capillary electrophoresis, or it is flow cytometry, they have to create a center of excellence where the industry comes, test their molecules. Once it is proven, then they can set up their own unit. So biotechnology will be a very specialized sector, and keeping this in mind, the government of India has set up my institute, that is National Institute of Biologicals. I can tell you from this forum, nowhere in the world exists a laboratory like this outside US. You forget Europe, you forget Asia, you forget any country. And if you visit that institute, you will not feel that you are coming to any laboratory in India. No private sector laboratory can also meet it. The heart of this institute is 128 crores facility, which is 15,000 square meters, designed by National Institute of Health, US. It has got 42 biosafety level 2 labs, and it has got 2 biosafety level 3 labs. One in the animal house, one in the laboratory itself. And the laboratory itself is about 7,000 square meter area. Animal house is 4,000 square meter area, and rest is the support services. The institute itself costs the public exchequer 300 crores. So the Government of India, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, has invested a lot of money into this institute so that this institute can do hand-holding as far as the quality control testing of biologicals is concerned, preparation of reference materials, to collaborate with the industry to do collaborative studies, and especially with regard to biotechnology products. The one issue which is very, very important is external quality assessment scheme, EQUAS. It is very important that industry should participate in the EQUAS, and for this reference material is required, panels are required. If you prepare HIV, hepatitis B, C, malaria, syphilis panel, these kits, you require national panels. Who is going to make these national panels? So these are the key areas which my institute has addressed, and I can tell you from this forum that we have got 10 state-of-art laboratories. One is monoclonal antibody testing laboratory. Second is this recombinant DNA product testing laboratory, blood product testing laboratory, blood reagent testing laboratory, biochemical testing laboratory. All glucometers which the diabetic people use in our country, the glucose strips, they are certified by my institute. Similarly, we have got other laboratories like enzyme and hormone lab, where we test various enzymes and hormones. Then we are also having laboratories with regard to testing all HIV, hepatitis B, C, malaria and syphilis kits. So these are the platforms which are already available. Industry is welcome to use it, and there is a nominal fee only for part of it. And if anyone wants his or her people to be trained, I think we offer our platforms to train them, and this comes free of cost. Because one area which is very, very important for the policy makers, because it's a policy framework, I read in Ernst Young, when I was at DCGI in 2011, I read an Ernst Young report that only 25% of our students who pass out of various universities and colleges are employable. That means we are very short of hands-on skills. You ask the students, has he ever touched the HPLC during his MTech or BTech or his course? No. He has just seen it. The professor has not allowed him to touch it. So where is he going to acquire the skills? So these are the gaps which I think the government, especially government of Tamil Nadu, if it is endeavoring to create these technology platforms, at least one state-of-art center where people from the industry, and even I would say students are also trained to have a feel of high-end equipment. At my end, we have taken 60 contractual employees. We pay them 25,000 rupees per month, and they have got access to all state-of-art equipment which is there in the facility. This is a ready-made material which is for the private sector. Another area which we have taken up the initiative now from this year is to have at least one PhD student. We are tying up with very universities like BHU and other universities we are identifying to have one PhD student in each lab, so that he becomes a ready-made material to go into the private sector and contribute to it. And then we have also conceptualized that eventually if it passes through, then we will also try to have a MSc course in applied microbiology, immunology and vaccinology. Because if these vaccine parks are coming up, where is the manpower? Do they know how to use fermenters? Do they know how to test or to do testing in animals with regard to various vaccines? Because most of them, they require animal testing. So who is going to train them? So what we thought is we could have a batch of 15 to 20 students for these MSc courses who are given intense hands-on training so that they are ready material for the industry to be taken up. So I think with these words, I would say that we on our part, on the part of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, and especially from my institute, National Institute of Biologicals, we would like to be a willing partner with the Government of Tamil Nadu in this noble gesture and noble endeavor of trying to promote biotechnology sector in your state. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Singh has hit the nail on the head. I think we need big dose of investment in biotechnology. Okay, before I call the next speaker, Mr. Abhay Kumar has to go. So I'm going to ask him a quick question. What are the difficulties faced by API? Is it China? Or is it no holistic policy from the government of setting up some cluster parks or thing?
Thank you, Ravi, for asking this question, because all the government officials are here. So one of the major problems we have in expanding our API capacities is that the drug obsolescence is so high that we have to keep on investing into new drugs. Research becomes a very important side of it. But every time we want to go for a research and bring out a new molecule or do any work in the laboratory also, the first thing they ask is to get the Pollution Control Board clearance. And then the Pollution Control Board clearance, it takes, for every molecule, they say that you have to go for a environment impact assessment and then go to the environment committee and then before it goes to the, so it takes almost 2 years by the time we lose either the customer or the product itself. So we will be really glad if a new policy can be set right to see that make the industry responsible. Please trust us. We will be equally responsible to see that we don't harm, because any harm coming to on the research side will harm us itself on the commercial side. So we will be responsible. We will see that we follow all the guidelines and norms, and quicker approvals for the research of the new molecules and introduction of new molecules will help us meet the requirement of the APIs in the country, sir. So I'm sure under the API year, which has been declared for 2015, a lot of new initiatives and correction on these policies will be taken, sir. Thank you very much.
She's giving you both plea and assurance, actually.
I think, I'll just add on to it. As he has already mentioned, 2015 has been declared as API by Government of India. And he has, even in my welcome speech, I actually touched two issues which these are meetings which we actually discussed with the investor, and already we had 2 rounds of session with this pharmaceutical industry. I fully agree that, we can't compare this as a cement industry or some other industry where this is something where, we have to treat it differently. This will be taken up with the Pollution Control Board so that we are able to make that distinction that just like every other environment clearance for every molecule we cannot have a different sort of approach. So that I assure you that we'll take it up with the appropriate authorities with the concurrence of Honorable Chief Minister. Second issue is on this methanol also. That again is an issue which we had see for every unit a separate license is required. These 2 issues will definitely be sorted out. Thank you for your pointing out these things.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very essential.
Okay, our next speaker is Mr. Babu Thomas, Director Marketing, HRL Lifecare Limited.
Chairman of the session, Dr. Subbraju, Dr. Radhakrishnan, other dignitaries on the dais of the dais. I am here to share with you, in continuation of what the Secretary of Pharmaceutical Government of India has mentioned, about 2 key initiatives of the Government of India, which is being implemented in the state of Tamil Nadu. by my company HLL Life Care Limited, which is a central public sector enterprise under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Dr. Subbraju has mentioned about the importance of vaccine, the growing and the emerging vaccines, the need for popularizing vaccines, universalizing vaccines, which is the universal vaccines are not reaching the 100% of the population today. The government of India in its wisdom has decided to implement the largest public sector vaccine manufacturing facility in the country, and the committee constituted for that has selected Tamil Nadu and specifically Chengalpet as the site for doing that. HLL is given the job of implementing that project. HLL is a public sector undertaking under the ministry, and naturally we are the agency for that. This project is coming up in Chengalpet.